In the previous episode, Wang Lin had completed the rise of the soul refining tribe. From a small valley sect born out of chaos, he had transformed it into a powerful force, 5,000 strong. Disciplined and united under his command, he left behind the tribe he had built with his own hands, entrusting it to Yang Hua, and taking with him only 2 followers, 13. The once broken warrior reborn through pain and perseverance, and Hu Pao, a young man brimming with ambition and awe. Now, as the cold winds of the demon spirit land swept across the plains, Wang Lin embarked on a new journey toward the legendary ancient demon city, a place said to hold secrets from the era of the demon gods. As dawn broke across the endless horizon, the people of the soul refining tribe gathered silently to watch their ancestor depart. One by one, they knelt, thousands of cultivators pressing their foreheads to the ground, their hearts filled with reverence. To them, Wang Lin was not merely a leader, he was the pillar of heaven itself. As long as he lived, their tribe would never fall. Even Yang Hua, now a powerful cultivator in his own right, bent his knee, his mind flooded with memories of the past 4 years, years of guidance, transformation, and faith. He could only whisper a single word to describe his feelings: respect. Wang Lin did not look back. Step by step, he walked into the distance until his silhouette vanished from sight, leaving behind silence and devotion. Far beyond the valley, he raised his hand and tapped his storage bag. A burst of golden-purple light erupted into the sky, a majestic beast emerged. Its wings stretching wide like a thundercloud, its body shimmered with golden and violet hues, and its eyes burned with primal intelligence. The mosquito beast. Once a mere creature under Wang Lin's control, it had now awakened and evolved, exuding the aura of a king among beasts. Its power had grown to rival even the late stage of soul formation. When it roared, the land trembled, the sound sharp enough to make 13 and Hu Pao's faces pale. Wang Lin smiled faintly and patted the beast's massive head. The creature lowered itself obediently, rubbing him affectionately like a loyal hound. "Come up," Wang Lin said calmly. 13 stepped forward first. The moment his feet touched the beast's cold, metallic hide, a chilling energy surged through his body, testing his endurance. His muscles tightened, but he did not falter. Then Hu Pao followed, his body trembling as he tried to withstand the same numbing cold. Wang Lin's gaze lingered on them, his eyes softening with faint admiration. Then, with a thought, the mosquito beast let out a deafening cry and shot across the sky like a streak of lightning. The wind howled around them, powerful, sharp, and unending. Wang Lin sat cross-legged on the beast's back, perfectly calm, his robes fluttering gently in the storm. But for 13 and Hu Pao, every gust felt like a hammer of iron. Their bodies shuddered under the force. Yet neither gave up. Gritting their teeth, they circulated their demonic spiritual energy, activating their techniques to endure the hurricane winds. The journey to ancient demon city was vast, 15 million kilometers across the demon spirit land. But Wang Lin was in no hurry. He would not waste his celestial energy on teleportation. Instead, he let the beasts speed carve their path through the heavens. Below them, countless tribes stirred in fear. Each time the mosquito beast passed overhead, thunder echoed in its wake, shaking the land. Tribes activated their defensive formations, mistaking the soaring shadow for a celestial beast of destruction. From above, Wang Lin looked down upon the lands that had once seemed so mysterious. He saw their patterns now, great and small tribes scattered across the plains like stars, each with their own totems and banners. A faint light flickered in his eyes. If the soul refining tribe could unite them all, he thought, even the 9 countries of this land would tremble. After 7 days of travel, the outline of ancient demon city finally emerged, an enormous fortress of black stone and crimson banners, radiating the ancient power of the demon clan. When they were 50 kilometers away, Wang Lin dismissed the mosquito beast and descended to the ground with his 2 followers. 13 looked around with quiet awe. For a man who had once never left the valley, this place, millions of kilometers away from home, was a dream beyond imagination. Yet his face remained still, his eyes cold and steady. mirroring the calm composure of his master. Hu Pao, on the other hand, could not hide his emotions. The moment he saw the colossal walls of ancient demon city, he dropped to his knees in awe, whispering a silent prayer of reverence. Realizing what he had done, shame flushed his face. He spat toward the city and muttered a curse, forcing himself to appear defiant, though his heart still trembled. Wang Lin noticed and smiled faintly. Without a word, he began walking forward, his pace unhurried, his presence unshakable. 13 and Hu Pao followed. The gates of ancient demon city loomed ahead like the mouth of a giant beast. The line of people waiting to enter stretched far into the distance, merchants, cultivators, and tribesmen, all waiting their turn under the watch of black-armored demon soldiers. But Wang Lin did not wait. He simply walked past them. The guards noticed immediately. One stepped forward, his armor glinting darkly under the sun, his spear raised as he barked, "Back away!" Before Wang Lin could respond, 13's eyes turned sharp. His blood roared with fury. "Presumptuous," he shouted. In a flash, he stepped forward and threw a punch, a blow so fierce that it tore through the air like a meteor. The force rippled outward, bending the very space around his fist. The demon soldier tried to dodge, but an invisible pressure held him down, slowing his movement. Desperately, he lifted his spear to block. The two forces collided. A thunderous crack split the air. The spear shattered instantly, crumbling to dust. The guard stumbled back, blood spilling from his lips as his comrades rushed to catch him, only to recoil. Pale and trembling from the backlash, the desert wind howled softly outside the towering walls of ancient demon city. The sand shimmered under the dim, demonic light, and tension filled the air. Wang Lin stood before the city gates, his black robes fluttering slightly, his expression calm and unreadable. But the calm was deceptive, because chaos was about to erupt. Moments ago, his disciple 13 had struck a demon soldier, a rash move born of loyalty, not reason. Now, the city guards, filled with killing intent, poured out from every direction. Spears and blades gleamed with a faint red light as they surrounded Wang Lin and his two followers. The air thickened with hostility. The onlookers, cultivators waiting to enter the city, quickly scattered back, whispering to each other. Everyone could sense that something extraordinary was about to happen. Wang Lin didn't move, his eyes swept over the crowd, cold and steady, before his voice broke through the tension. 13 stepped forward immediately, his face full of respect and a trace of fear. To him, Wang Lin was not merely a teacher, he was an existence close to divinity. If Wang Lin scolded him, he would accept it without a word. Wang Lin's voice was low, calm, but firm. "That punch of yours was wrong." 13 froze. For a moment, he didn't understand. Then he said, with absolute conviction, in 13's eyes, "Anyone who is disrespectful to ancestor is my enemy." Hu Pao, the other disciple, stood off to the side, silent. Earlier, he had regretted not stepping in, not proving his loyalty like 13 had. But now, seeing Wang Lin's stern face, he was relieved. If he had acted recklessly, he might have earned not praise, but his master's disappointment. Wang Lin slowly shook his head. "Your intent was good, but your execution was flawed. You used all your strength, yet 40% of it was lost. That means you have not yet mastered your own power. If your control was perfect, that soldier would not be standing now." 13's eyes widened. He quickly bowed and began to think deeply, replaying his punch in his mind. But there was no time for further reflection. Around them, the demon soldiers roared in anger. A dozen of them charged forward, weapons raised high. The ground trembled under their feet, and their demonic energy surged like a dark tide. These were seasoned veterans, warriors who had lived and bled on battlefields. Even cultivators stronger than them often felt pressured by the sheer force of their killing intent. Wang Lin, however, didn't even blink. He looked at 13 and said softly, "Watch closely. Though I never trained in body refinement, there are similarities between it and spell techniques. Learn from this." Then, he raised his right hand and threw a casual punch, one that seemed almost too light, too effortless. But the air itself shuddered. Ripples burst outward from the center of his fist, distorting the space around him. The charging soldiers slowed, their movements stiffening as if invisible chains had bound them. Then, boom, the ripples exploded outward. The soldiers were hurled backward, their bodies twisting violently as they hit the ground, coughing up blood. The air was filled with the scent of iron. Wang Lin's fist opened slowly, and every droplet of blood the soldiers had spilled began to float, gathering, swirling, forming a bright red sphere in his palm. With a flick of his wrist, Wang Lin sent the blood sphere hurtling toward the city wall like a crimson meteor. Just before it struck, a sharp, cold voice cut through the air. A flash of red light descended from the gate, and with a single gesture, the blood sphere shattered into mist. From within the glow stepped a woman, dressed entirely in white. Her long black hair flowing behind her like silk, her phoenix eyes sharp and unyielding. The surrounding soldiers dropped to their knees instantly. "Commander Yao," they shouted. Wang Lin's gaze flickered slightly. He recognized her. He had seen her once before, outside the East Demon Spirit Sea, a powerful cultivator who commanded her own territory. "It seems many on planet Tien Yun know my name," Wang Lin said, smiling faintly. Commander Yao's eyes narrowed. "So you are the one causing trouble here. You must have come to ancient Demon City to earn military merit as well. There's no need for pointless fighting." Without another glance, she turned and began walking into the city. Wang Lin followed. His two disciples hurried after him. Inside, they arrived at a massive plaza dominated by a glowing transfer array. The demon soldiers guarding it immediately bowed to Commander Yao as she stepped inside. She turned to Wang Lin, her tone cold but measured. "Follow me. You'll need to meet the demon general of the left wing. Only he can assign your position here." Wang Lin nodded. He turned to his disciples. "The two of you will wait inside the city," he said simply. Then he stepped into the array beside her. A flash of white light consumed them. When Wang Lin's vision cleared, he found himself standing before a colossal palace, its shadow stretching far across the darkened sky. A massive statue towered above it, a warrior in full armor. His hand raised as if to command the heavens themselves. The demonic aura surrounding it was so intense that it seemed to twist the clouds. From within the palace came a booming laugh. Then, a figure leapt down from the statue itself, landing in midair before Wang Lin. He was a giant of a man, his arms thick and powerful, his aura crushing like a storm. His purple robe rippled with demonic power. "So," the man said, smiling, "you're the foreigner who dared to strike my soldiers outside the gate?" Wang Lin's eyes narrowed slightly. He could tell that this man's power was immense, his demonic energy condensed to the point that it was nearly invisible. Few could contain such strength. He met the general's gaze calmly. "It was me." The general laughed again, his voice echoing across the empty air. "Good, then let's see what kind of strength you possess." With a sudden motion, he threw a punch, faster than lightning, silent as death. Wang Lin raised his hand, pressing his thumb to the air. A surge of gray mist coiled around his arm. The power of death itself spread outward. Finger of death. The world seemed to freeze. The space around Wang Lin dimmed, drained of life. The two forces collided, the general's crushing punch against Wang Lin's deathly energy. A thunderous boom split the sky. Wang Lin was forced back 3 steps. The general staggered slightly, his eyes flashing with interest rather than anger. "Good," the demon general roared. "You took that head on and lived. That means you're qualified to serve under me, as one of my inner elders." Wang Lin's face remained calm. "I don't want an inner position." The general's expression hardened. Then, slowly, a grin spread across his face. "You understand the difference between inner and outer positions. Not bad. If you want to command soldiers, you'll have to earn it." He clenched his fists, his muscles tightening like iron cables. "Let's see how you handle this." He punched again, not once, but 10 times in rapid succession. Each strike tore the air, space itself trembling under the pressure. With every punch, the surrounding world seemed to collapse and reform, creating a storm of invisible force. "If you can withstand my 10 collapsing battle intent, You will become a chief commander. The final punch exploded outward. A condensed storm of battle will and killing intent. The air itself seemed to scream as it rushed toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes glowed coldly. He stood his ground like an ancient mountain. Unmoving, the celestial slaughter art flared within him. Gray energy crawling up his right arm like a living thing. His index finger rose. Demonic energy gathered, dense and sharp as a blade. The air trembled. The demon general's 10 collapse battle intent gathered like a storm in the heavens. And Wang Lin stood alone at its center. The first wave of power surged toward him, invisible yet immense, like the heavens themselves collapsing upon a single mortal man. In that instant, Wang Lin's eyes shone with calm determination. He lifted his index finger, and the celestial energy within his body roared to life, spinning like a violent sea. That pure celestial essence shifted, transforming into dark, demonic spiritual energy that flooded to the tip of his finger. A deep, inky black light burst out, so dark that even sunlight could not pierce it. It was the purest form of demonic power. His body trembled slightly, but his will remained unshaken. When his finger pointed forward, the monstrous intent of the demon general's attack crashed down. The first collapse arrived. The sky groaned as if the world itself were falling apart. Space twisted, air shattered, and the ground beneath Wang Lin cracked open in a wide circle. The destructive force rushed in from all directions, crashing into his body. The black light surrounding him flared fiercely. Celestial spiritual energy spun wildly inside his meridians as he resisted the impact. The world shook with a deafening sound, so loud it seemed to split the heavens apart. When the light faded, Wang Lin staggered backward several steps, his face pale, his right index finger trembled uncontrollably, and a sharp numbness crawled through his arm. But before he could recover, the power that had just receded suddenly returned, multiplied tenfold. The second collapse descended. It came like lightning, faster and stronger than before, sweeping in from every direction. The very sky darkened for 10,000 feet, shrouded in sandstorm like clouds. The demon general's power was terrifying, enough to make even ascendant cultivators retreat. But Wang Lin's eyes did not waver. They gleamed with a sharp, mysterious light. Even among ascendant cultivators, he murmured, few could wield such a spell. He took a deep breath, then raised his hand once more. 2 strands of gray mist appeared, alive, twisting like 2 dragons. It was the celestial slaughter art, his most fearsome cultivation technique. The 2 gray streams spiraled outward, cutting through the air with a shrill sonic boom. They collided head-on with the approaching second collapse. The sky erupted with thunder. The 2 gray strands did not shatter, instead, they merged into a spinning vortex centered around Wang Lin. Inside the vortex, killing intent surged, a boundless, ancient force that seemed capable of killing gods and immortals alike. That killing intent roared to life, meeting the power of the second collapse head-on, tearing a bloody path through the destructive force. The storm screamed as Wang Lin stepped forward, his eyes fierce and cold. Condense. His roar echoed like thunder. The vortex shattered apart, and the 2 streams of gray energy returned to his hand, merging into a 7-inch long sword. The sword gleamed with a dull gray light that carried the aura of death and slaughter. In that moment, Wang Lin was transformed. His entire being was enveloped in killing intent so thick that the faint celestial aura around him vanished. He was no longer a calm cultivator, he was a demon of slaughter. Born for battle. Sword in hand, Wang Lin leapt forward, stepping into the void, charging straight at the demon general. The demon general's eyes lit up, and a savage grin spread across his face. Good. Few have dared to attack during my 10 collapse battle intent. Let's see if you can endure the next 8 collapses and reach me. From the distant plaza, the white-robed woman, Commander Yao, daughter of the blood ancestor, watched silently. Her brows furrowed slightly. She knew this spell well. 3 years ago, she herself had faced this very test, and nearly died by it. She had barely survived the 5th collapse using the blood arts her father had given her. Even then, she had failed on the 8th. Yet now, before her eyes, a human cultivator was fighting back against that same power, head-on. Wang Lin's sword gleamed as he advanced. The third collapse came without warning, 10 times stronger than the second. The heavens themselves dimmed, as if weighed down by invisible mountains. Wang Lin's eyes turned blood red. He felt his killing intent swell like a tide. There was no hesitation, only the desire to fight. Break for me, the third collapse. The gray sword shone with a terrifying brilliance, its light stretching more than 10 feet. He swung with both hands, cutting through the air. The power of the strike split the void itself, carving a path of light through the overwhelming darkness. The third collapse shattered before him, torn apart by the sheer force of his will and killing intent. The demon general's grin widened. Good, he shouted, his voice rumbling like thunder. But before Wang Lin could take another breath, the fourth collapse arrived, faster, heavier, and impossibly stronger, 1,000 times the power of the first collapse. The world itself seemed to tremble under its weight. The swirl of clouds above the palace distorted violently, unable to withstand the pressure. The fourth collapse crashed down like a tidal wave. The slaughter sword in Wang Lin's hand flickered. The killing force he had condensed shattered instantly under the overwhelming power. The pressure crushed against him from all sides, his body creaking, bones screaming. He was like a lone boat tossed about in a storming sea. His face went white. For the first time, he halted his charge. He could feel it. His power was not enough to break this collapse. Not like this. If only he had more of the gray killing energy. Perhaps he could resist. But after years of struggle, the celestial slaughter art remained incomplete, slow to grow stronger. There was still one other way, the underworld finger. The last and most dangerous of the 3 killing spells. It could end this fight instantly. But it also came with a price. Each use would chip away at his Tao heart, pulling him toward the demonic path. And in this deadly land filled with demons, Wang Lin could not afford that risk. His eyes hardened. Decision flashed through them. He released the slaughter sword. It dissolved into mist and flowed back into his arm, merging into his body. In its place, 2 faint symbols appeared on his forehead, 2 life force seals, glowing softly as they spread across his skin to form a defensive barrier. The moment it was complete, the fourth collapse arrived. It was a storm of destruction. A cataclysm made flesh, space twisted, the air screamed, and the full power of the demon general's intent struck Wang Lin like a world-ending avalanche. Inside that force, he felt it, the faint pulse of faith. His mind shook, his eyes widened. Faith. The word echoed within him, awakening something deep inside. This light in his eyes, this flash of understanding, had not appeared in centuries. In the midst of that crushing force, Wang Lin suddenly understood a part of the demon general's strength. The crushing weight of the fourth collapse still lingered in the air. Trembling through every inch of the ancient demon city, Wang Lin stood amidst the wreckage of the battlefield, his breath shallow, his robes torn and scorched. But in the midst of the destruction, he sensed something hidden deep within the 10 collapse battle intent. It was faith. Not the faith of a god or a religion, but the burning conviction of warriors who had fought and fallen beneath this very technique. The faith of countless souls who had believed in victory, who refused to bow even in death. Their wills, their spirits, their desires to triumph, all fused together, condensed through the demon general's battle intent. And now, that same faith pressed down upon Wang Lin, trying to crush his soul. He understood in an instant. The 10 collapses are not just technique and power, he thought. They evolve through faith itself. Every soul defeated by this spell adds its belief to it, and the more the general kills, the stronger his faith becomes. Realization brought not fear, but a deep, burning frustration that surged in his chest. Yet before that emotion could fester, Wang Lin crushed it, forcing his heart to stillness once more. Then the full power of the fourth collapse struck him. A shockwave blasted outward as Wang Lin's body was hurled through the air. He slammed into the ground 1,000 feet away, skidding across the stone like a meteor. His fingernails scraped hard against the ground, leaving deep, sharp grooves before he finally halted, breath heavy and uneven. The life seal on his forehead flickered weakly, its once bright glow dimming to a faint gray. Only half of the protective symbol remained, the rest shattered by the impact. Above him, the demon general's golden eyes shimmered faintly as he said, calm and distant, "It is already impressive to survive the fourth collapse with a mere mid-stage soul transformation cultivation. But that is your limit. Step down. You lack the power for commander. Let alone chief commander. You can only serve as an elder." Though his words were measured, the tone carried dismissal, a verdict of worthlessness. Wang Lin lifted his head. His eyes were cold, yet within them flickered a light of comprehension. He understood now that the demon general's technique wasn't only strength, it was spirit. It was a manifestation of his Tao heart, his belief in eternal victory. And in that faith, there was something greater, a faith spell. Faith spell, Wang Lin murmured softly, and his gaze deepened, as if looking through the general. Beyond the world itself, enlightenment dawned behind his calm expression. Slowly, he raised his hand again, extending his right index finger. The same motion as before, the same spell, but as he performed it, something was different. His intent had changed. His heart had changed. The demon general's eyes narrowed as he watched. The faint golden glow in them flared once more. "This," he muttered under his breath, realizing that something extraordinary was unfolding before him. Even from afar, Yao Shishui's heart trembled. She could feel the shift in Wang Lin's aura, calm but deadly. Like a silent storm gathering strength. Her father, the blood ancestor, had warned her to keep an eye on this man, and now she understood why. A dark mist spread around Wang Lin. Black fog swirling 3 feet from his body, rolling like waves. Within it, his eyes gleamed with an ominous light, cold, unyielding, and unmistakably demonic. He whispered to himself, "All this time, my spells were only shells. Without faith, they were hollow." Then his voice deepened, filled with power. This time, one finger to question the heavens. He pointed toward the sky. The swirling clouds above the demon palace vanished in an instant. A heavy black cloud surged outward, covering the heavens, rumbling like a brewing storm. Within the darkness, faint wails echoed, the cries of ghosts or perhaps the echoes of countless souls crushed by faith. Demonic energy burst from Wang Lin's body. The celestial spiritual energy within him did not resist, it transformed. Completely and utterly, into pure demonic essence. His hair grew wildly, streaming down past his knees. 6 dark demonic marks appeared on his forehead, each one glowing with eerie light. The air around him thickened, the demonic aura expanded from 3 feet to 100. Until the entire area was engulfed in seething black energy. The ground beneath him smoldered as that energy condensed into faint green flames circling his feet. At that moment, Wang Lin's entire body and soul were submerged in demonic power. He lifted his head and laughed, a wild, unrestrained laugh that echoed through the heavens, filled with ferocity and madness. The half-broken life seal on his forehead pulsed, merging into his body. Then, before the eyes of all who watched, it began to grow once more, mending itself until the full symbol shone brightly once again. Whole and alive. When it fully formed, the light of the seal wrapped around his entire body like armor. He stepped forward, slowly, deliberately. Each step made the sky tremble. The demon general's golden eyes blazed brighter. "Interesting," he thundered. "You are the first to achieve enlightenment beneath my 10 collapse battle intent. Then face my 5th collapse." The heavens split open. The 5th collapse roared to life. Thunder rolled across the sky as if divine punishment had descended. The sound shook the entire ancient demon city. But Wang Lin did not retreat. His right hand rose once more. Finger extended. Demonic flames burst from its tip, forming a vast sea of fire that surrounded him completely. The flames swirled, alive with his intent and his will. For the first time, Wang Lin unleashed the true power of the demonic finger. He thrust his finger forward. The sea of fire surged, crashing against the incoming 5th collapse. The two forces met with an earth-shaking explosion. Demonic flames devoured the void itself, halting the collapse in its tracks. Wang Lin's body blurred. He shot forward like lightning, piercing through the roaring energy. With a thunderous crack, the 5th collapse shattered behind him. He was now only 100 feet away from the demon general. Then the sixth collapse arrived. Words could not describe its might. Space itself warped and tore open around them, the distance between Wang Lin and the demon general folding in on itself. The sixth collapse took the shape of a massive ring of light, closing in like a cage. Wang Lin did not flinch. His eyes gleamed darkly, and he whispered, "Demonic transformation." A deep black light erupted from his body, spreading from his finger down his arm, then across his entire form until he became a living shadow, human in shape, but demonic in essence. The ring of destruction closed in, but Wang Lin walked straight through it. His form shimmered like smoke, and the sixth collapse disintegrated with a thunderous roar. The demon general's eyes flashed, admiration replacing disdain. "What a foreigner," he shouted. "This general has truly underestimated you." "Very well, 4 more remain." Wang Lin stopped midair, his aura calm but overwhelming. His voice was steady as he answered, "Your spell is born of faith, the belief that you will always claim victory. That faith is what feeds your power. But faith can be broken. To defeat you, I must not fight your strength. I must shatter your belief." He raised his finger again, demonic flame flickering at the tip. "To break your faith, I became a demon. I turned your belief into my own demonic conviction. Now this is no longer a battle of cultivation, it is a battle of faith." The demon general's face hardened. And at that very moment, the seventh collapse descended. Wang Lin's eyes flared like twin stars. "Make way," he commanded. The 2 words thundered through the air, carrying the full force of his unwavering will. The seventh collapse, which had just formed, began to tremble, then shattered apart like glass. A roaring wind swept through the skies as Wang Lin strode forward again. Within his eyes burned a new kind of light, not the faith of victory, but the faith of defiance itself. It was a demonic mindset, the conviction to oppose the heavens, to rebel against fate, to seize what others dared not, to destroy what others revered. It was the will to walk the path of a demon, unhindered and unbound. For the first time in millennia, the demon general's expression changed. Shock flickered across his face. From the moment he had met Wang Lin, he had regarded him as little more than an ambitious outsider. Even when Wang Lin broke through the third collapse, he had only begun to take him seriously. But now this man stood before him, shattering the seventh collapse with mere words. The demon general's golden eyes widened. "This person," he muttered under his breath, "I have made a grave mistake." For thousands of years, nothing had stirred his heart. Yet now, facing Wang Lin's rising demonic faith, he finally felt it, true excitement. A mortal who had stepped beyond his limits. A man whose faith defied heaven itself. Wang Lin moved forward through the sky, step by step, his long black hair flowing like dark silk behind him. His aura was cold and terrifying, his eyes glimmered with demonic power. His face calm but ruthless, as though a demon god had descended from the heavens. After shattering the seventh collapse, only 50 feet separated him from the demon general. The general of the left wing, Yun Lihai, watched him closely now. The mockery in his eyes was gone, replaced by solemn respect. But before either man could act, the eighth collapse erupted from the void. It came like a divine flood, no longer just an invisible force, but a tangible, physical wall of destruction. The heavens shook as the eighth collapse rushed down toward Wang Lin, its energy vast enough to shatter mountains and drown the world. Wang Lin didn't flinch, wrapped in dense demonic energy. His eyes gleamed with determination. Instead of dodging, he stepped straight into it. The moment his body touched the collapse, the demonic flames surrounding him exploded outward. They surged into the sky like a burning pillar, and in that instant, it felt as though the entire world had been swallowed by demonic power. But even before the eighth collapse could fade, the ninth one silently appeared behind it. Wang Lin's brows furrowed slightly. Though his body had transformed into that of a demon, his Tao heart, his spiritual foundation, remained steady. Yet, he knew the danger. The more deeply he sank into demonic power, the more that energy would begin to corrode his mind and heart. Wang Lin was not ignorant of the risks of the demonic path. He knew that once a person's Tao heart was tainted beyond return, sanity would crumble. They would no longer be themselves, they would become a mindless monster of chaos. As both the 8th and 9th collapses closed in, Wang Lin made his decision. He stopped advancing. Instead of pressing forward, he took a deep breath and retreated. His figure vanished in a blur, leaving behind only echoes of demonic flame. When he reappeared, he was 10,000 feet away, calm and uninjured. The demon general blinked in surprise. Then, after a moment, a booming laugh escaped him. "You know when to retreat," he said approvingly. "You understand balance. Good." With a wave of his hand, the sky trembled once more. The 10 collapse battle intent dissolved into nothingness. The world grew still, and the oppressive aura vanished. The general's tone softened, his eyes shining faintly with respect. "Although you did not break through all 10 collapses, your strength is undeniable. You are qualified to be a commander." He lifted his palm, and a green command token appeared in the air, radiating faint demonic light. "I, Yun Lihai, General of the Left Wing, grant you the position of Commander of Ancient Demon City, along with 10,000 demon soldiers under your command." Wang Lin's expression did not change. He raised his hand, caught the token, and bowed slightly. "Thank you, General," he said calmly. Yun Lihai smiled faintly. "Rest within the city for now. In 7 days, someone will take you to your barracks." His gaze lingered on Wang Lin for a moment longer, this time not as an examiner, but as a warrior acknowledging another, and then his body vanished like smoke. Yao Shishui, who had been watching from a distance, wanted to speak, but before she could open her mouth, Wang Lin turned without a glance and walked away. The coldness of his back left her silent. With a soft snort, she too disappeared into the city streets. Wang Lin walked through the heart of Ancient Demon City, the demonic aura around him fading gradually. The air here felt heavy. Ancient, towering black stone buildings rose into the clouds, and demonic lanterns burned with ghostly green light. After half an hour, he reached an inn and quietly settled inside, sitting cross-legged to cultivate. 4 days and nights passed. His long hair shortened back to its original length. His demonic aura restrained, yet within him, traces of that demonic power still burned. He could feel it pulsing deep in his soul. He had learned much from this battle. The demonic path granted strength beyond imagination, but the cost was severe. His Tao, his true path, was not demonic. If he allowed that energy to take root too deeply, his Tao heart would shatter. His mind would be consumed by madness, and he would lose his sense of self. He understood it clearly. Situ Nan had once walked the demonic path and embraced it fully, devoting his heart to it. That was why he could remain sane. But Wang Lin was different. His heart was clear and calculating. Even in the midst of transformation, he measured every second, counting the moment when he must stop. That was why he had retreated before the 8th and 9th collapses. It wasn't because he couldn't fight further, it was because if he continued, he might never come back. In truth, his goal in entering the demonic state had not been victory. It was strategy. He had wanted to demonstrate his strength, to force the general to give him a position of power within the city. Even if he hadn't broken through all 10 collapses, his performance was enough to earn the general's respect. And if Yun Lihai had been too blind to recognize it, Wang Lin would have left the city entirely and returned later by force. He never relied on others' approval, he only relied on his own power. After 4 days, Wang Lin finally managed to compress the demonic ideals inside his body into a single point, a seed of darkness. Sealed deep within his spirit, it could never be removed. But he didn't intend to. He would keep it, control it, and use it when necessary. It would become a hidden blade, dangerous, but powerful. Outside, 2 figures had arrived, 13 and Hu Pao. They had found Wang Lin through his divine sense and taken rooms beside his. On the 5th day, Wang Lin finally stood up, opened his door, and stepped into the bustling streets, with 13 and Hu Pao quietly following him. Ancient Demon City stretched endlessly before them, massive streets paved with black stone. Markets filled with strange beasts and demonic merchants. The air hummed with energy, filled with whispers of spells and roars of laughter. It was a city unlike any in the mortal world. As Wang Lin walked, his gaze wandered, This East Demon Spirit Sea, it feels like an entire world. He thought, could the rumors be true? That this realm was once the cultivation cave of a celestial emperor before the celestial realm collapsed? The thought sent chills through him. To create a world this vast within one's cultivation cave, such power was unimaginable. But then, where did all these people come from? He mused quietly. A strange idea began to form in his mind. He remembered the villagers back home, who would create small mud pens to raise livestock. For a fleeting moment, Wang Lin looked at the sky above and felt an eerie illusion, an image of himself trapped within such a pen, surrounded by countless beings raised for some higher purpose. He shook his head, smiling faintly. I'm overthinking, he whispered, yet the thought lingered in his heart. 13 followed closely, expression calm, eyes sharp, ever watchful. Hu Pao, on the other hand, looked around with wide eyes, fascinated by every building and market stall they passed. After 2 hours, Wang Lin stopped before a large, crowded restaurant. Massive wine jars, each 30 feet wide, stood outside like monuments. The scent of strong liquor filled the air. The sign above read, Green Bamboo Restaurant. Wang Lin looked up with mild curiosity. Beside the door, a pair of poetic couplets were engraved in jade. The bamboo and orchid fragrance welcomes the guest. The aroma of the plum and chrysanthemum will send off the lords. A smiling attendant hurried forward. Honored sir, our green bamboo wine is the finest in all 9 countries. Today we've opened a new jar. Anyone who can drink 10 small jars without getting drunk drinks for free. Would you like to try? Wang Lin's eyes glimmered with interest. Then let me see just how special your green bamboo wine is. He stepped inside, with 13 and Hu Pao following silently. The restaurant was lively, filled with laughter, clinking cups, and the hum of conversation. A waiter quickly led them to a window seat, cleaned the table, and asked, would sir like to eat as well? Just bring 3 jars of green bamboo wine. Wang Lin replied softly. Moments later, 3 jars were brought to the table. 13 opened one carefully, pouring a full cup for Wang Lin but refraining from drinking himself. Hu Pao looked longingly at the wine but held back, obediently following 13's lead. Wang Lin lifted the cup. The aroma drifted to his nose. Warm and nostalgic, he took a sip, and in that instant, a flood of memories returned. He remembered the wine he once drank on planet Suzaku, the simple life he shared with Da Niu and his people, the taste of mortal simplicity. Time changes everything, he thought quietly. I wonder if planet Suzaku still lives in peace. Da Niu's generation of mortals must have long passed, but perhaps their descendants still walk beneath the same sky. A faint sadness flickered in his eyes as he drank in silence, alone amidst the noise of the mortal world. This episode, Commander, marks a turning point in Wang Lin's journey within the ancient demon city. Through the battle with the left-wing general, Yun Lihai, Wang Lin demonstrates his immense strength and restraint. Although he doesn't completely shatter all 10 collapses, his ability to recognize the limits of his own demonic transformation earns him the general's respect, and the title of commander over 10,000 demon soldiers. The battle also reveals something deeper about Wang Lin's character. Even as he taps into the terrifying power of demonic energy, he remains cautious, constantly guarding his Tao heart, the essence of his cultivation path. He knows that complete immersion in demonic ideals would consume his sanity and destroy his true self. So, instead of being driven by arrogance or greed for power, he chooses discipline and wisdom, stepping back at the crucial moment. The episode also explores Wang Lin's growing curiosity about the mysterious world of the East Demon Spirit Sea. His suspicions that this entire realm might once have been the cultivation cave of a celestial emperor show his deep analytical nature. He even questions whether everyone within this world, including himself, could simply be living inside a god's creation, like livestock in a pen. Finally, the quieter scene in the Green Bamboo Restaurant contrasts beautifully with the intensity of the earlier battle. As Wang Lin drinks the green bamboo wine, memories of his mortal past resurface. The taste of wine brings him nostalgia for planet Suzaku, his home, and for those who have long passed away. It's a reminder that beneath his powerful, demon-like exterior, Wang Lin is still deeply human, carrying the weight of time, memory, and loss. In essence, this episode combines power, restraint, reflection, and longing. It shows that Wang Lin's strength is not only in battle, but also in his ability to remain true to himself amid overwhelming darkness.